25. My name is Ted Gutierrez, and I am sitting here with one of the major product managers, Devin McCrade from ServiceNow. Devin, how are you? Nice to see you.
Real good, Ted. Good to see you.
Nice, nice, nice. Well, jumping right into it, what is the S4 Prime Room for ServiceNow look like, and what do you hope that your clients can get out of that this year?
We're here mainly to have conversations. It's a lot of fun for us because we have so many ServiceNow customers here, so many partners that we work with. So it's just a perfect opportunity to get people in the room, have discussions about what do they want to do next, what can we do together, what's possible this year or next. So we're going to be doing some sessions on how we're bringing AI into the OT security space, a little bit about the acquisition of Mission Secure, which is how I came into to ServiceNow.
Right.
And we'll be doing some hospitality too. We got a happy hour and breakfast we're doing with Nozomi on Wednesday. So just hoping to get together with as many people as we can and have some fun.
Excellent. Well, this is always a place to have fun. It's always a place to see like minds and to just operate as a peer community. S4 has always done that really well. But one thing that Dale has always pushed is, how do we move the conversation more forward? You mentioned AI, you mentioned acquisitions, you mentioned some things that ServiceNow is doing. What would you say, if you could talk to every ServiceNow customer out there, that it's doing right now to project itself into the future of ICS and OT?
Yeah, well, we think ServiceNow technology is going to be essential to the future evolution of OT security, either through our platform's native capabilities or through our partnerships with, like I said, dozens of other vendors in the space, including many who are here. Mm-hmm. Now, really one of the biggest things we're bringing to the table is our leadership in developing AI agents and AI-based solutions. Obviously that's something everybody's trying to get into right now, but ServiceNow's been there for a while, has really made tremendous investments in the kind of teams and infrastructure you have to develop and deploy and manage OT agents on a large scale and get value out of it. So that's probably number one. And I have to say, no one is going to suggest that AI should be making autonomous decisions about production processes or rewriting ladder logic, anything like that. But we think there's just huge potential for AI to move things, to take kind of time-consuming, cumbersome tasks that get in the way, that prevent asset owners from, adopting or using security solutions, and we can use AI to get rid of those obstacles and help them get to the results they actually want to achieve.
Well, there's no doubt there's obviously two sides to balance here. I think the whole world knows and recognizes the power of AI, but also the potential unwillingness or lack of readiness there of some of the clients. And I think that's what one of the challenges that we've had in the ICS market. You mentioned Mission Secure, who I think was founded maybe 10 years ago. Is that fair?
About 2014, yeah.
About 2014. So ServiceNow is such a behemoth, thousands and thousands of employees doing amazingly great things all over the spectrum of IT and governance and risk in general. Tell us a little bit more about the acquisition of Mission Secure. What was the product base there that really positioned ServiceNow to be a core player in this market?
Yeah, it's about visibility. I mean, obviously that's where almost everything starts, OT and ICS security. And so, ServiceNow's been in the OT security space for, more than 5 years at this point. It has a lot of, pretty strong portfolio of capabilities there, but one thing they wanted to add was, native, OT asset discovery and querying capabilities, and that's something Mission Secure had, spent 10 years developing, and we had a really strong product there. So that's why we're here. It's about just being able to find what's out there, and obviously ServiceNow has lots of partners who do that too. So it's all about bringing in one extra source of data into the asset inventory so that it's as complete as it can be, and you can start doing all the things you want with it.
Well, ServiceNow has an incredible capability globally. And so for having companies that maybe have traditionally not been in the ICS space, I think it is, what's the saying with a rising tide, all ships rise? Is that what it is?
A rising tide lifts all boats.
All
Is that
ships
it?
benefit.
Something.
Anyway, with ServiceNow making considerable investments into this, what has traditionally been a niche space, my perspective is it's great for everybody because it gets more clients that maybe had not been spending on the OT side. For you to be able to benefit those clients or sub-clients, I think it's going to help everybody out.
Yeah, it absolutely will. I mean, we've got, obviously thousands and thousands of customers for ServiceNow as a whole. And when we can bring more of them to our OT product suite,
Sure.
There's always a need for partner capabilities. There's certain, ServiceNow is going to start making data diodes or doing its own threat intelligence, or you could name a dozen things.
Well, it showcases what I think a lot of investors and startups in the space hope to see, and that is really large market players who really can shift the direction of security operations and governance. And it starts to say, hey, we value that type of capability. We value this type of capability. I've always said that S4 is a place where all the different vendors and the peer groups come together to try to project things forward. It'll be really interesting to see some of the major topics of discussion. I know AI is going to be one of them. I know that resource allocation is another. What would you say? You were at Mission Secure for a few years. You've seen great partnership with ServiceNow, like we were speaking before the interview. What do you think are a few of the market obstacles that none of the core players can really control, but ServiceNow has its eyes on right now that might accelerate growth of the various products and just security in general, or it might slow it down just from a market perspective? Any perspective on that?
Well, I mean, one thing that comes to mind is the sort of ever-present talent shortage, right? In cybersecurity, there's never enough people to do all the things that need to get done. And so that's, to bring it back to AI for a minute, one place where we think, this sort of approach can help, because so I'll just give the example. The first AI, based solution in our OT portfolio is about having an AI assistant to help out with incident response.
Sure.
So, it can summarize the incident. It can suggest possible courses of action. It can, after the thing's resolved, create the notes, create knowledge-based articles to be distributed. And those are things that, a lot of people just hate to do. They can become a bottleneck. The stuff takes forever. Teams get overwhelmed. And if you can just have this AI assistant to do the paperwork, then maybe your incident response teams, your security analysts aren't being crushed by their workload quite so much. And so, maybe you don't have to worry so much about finding more people to bring in. You can close job requisitions that have been open for a year. So, it's just about streamlining operations and making people more able to do the things that they want to do and need to do by taking the real cumbersome stuff off of their plates.
I understand, and I think you'd agree. People and process, accelerating any part of the people and process side allows reallocation of limited human capital. I mean, you've got really big decisions to make about a multitude of things in a security environment, and there's not enough of that energy to go around. So, no, I applaud the thinking. From a product perspective, is there anything that, with a product team as robust as ServiceNow's, is there anything that is up and coming or new or challenging the market from what we've seen traditionally that you can share? Or
there's always so much as big as they are, as we are, I should say. One really interesting story that we'll be talking a little bit about this week is a new obsolescence management capability that we've added. It was a customer request. We did an event where we got customers together and sort of, I think it was in Las Vegas, sort of playing Monopoly money. I forget exactly how it worked off the top of my head, but the point was, of the following things that ServiceNow could build in its OT suite, what would be most interesting. And one of the customers there said, we need a way to track and manage the obsolescence of our OT assets. Hadn't even been on the list. But that was 9 months ago. It's live now. They built it and brought it out. So it's just really exciting to be, in the middle of so much new development and bringing new capabilities to the market.
Well, it's an interesting capability because I know that the average asset owner does deal with multiple OEMs, multiple different product types, and they're all at a different age of their overall life cycle. And so it'll be very interesting to see how that plays out. What's a couple things that you're personally looking forward to here in S425?
Well, just seeing some people. I wasn't here personally last year, so catching up with some folks I haven't seen.
And it's in Tampa this year. I'm still kind of getting my grounds of where I am and what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's a great space, though. Miami Beach is nice too. Can't take anything away from it.
Well, it's hopefully a little less crowded, but just being able to walk around today, I've been able to see so many different folks I hadn't seen, and it's very, very exciting to see what's in store for ServiceNow this year, and I wish you guys the best of luck. Devin, thanks for the time.
Thank you, Ted. It's been great.
My pleasure.